Namaskar, welcome to PK's classes. Today we are going to discuss about the lac operon versus TRP operon. You can refer to our earlier classes on lac operon, TRP operon, the difference between inducible operon and repressible operon. So before we discuss the difference between these two, let us recall what is lac operon and what is TRP operon. Lac operon is your lactose operon. Lac stands for lactose, and this lactose operon has a regulatory site where LAC-I gene is there, which produces the repressor protein, which is active and can blocks the operator, so that the RNA polymerase, which usually binds to the promoter site, cannot move along the structural genes consisting of LAC-Z, LAC-Y and LAC-K, and there will be no transcription followed by translation, so there will be no production of enzymes required for degradation of lactose to glucose. So normally this operon is normally this operon is off because the repressor protein is active and binds to the operator. And when there is lactose blocks this repressor protein and cannot bind to the operator site, so the RNA polymerase is free to move now and the operon is on. So that is negative regulation. This operon can also act through the positive regulation through the co-activator. When there is low glucose, that will activate the adenine cyclase enzyme, so there will be production of cyclic AMP, which activates the catabolite activator protein, and this catabolite activator protein binds to the CAP site, which is adjacent to the promoter site, and will facilitate the action of RNA polymerase, and it moves along the operon, and the gene expression occurs. So the operon is on. So this is positive regulation. And TRP operon also is operated through the TRP repressor protein as well as the leader sequence. And through leader sequence, when it operates, we call it as attenuation. And TRP repressor protein cannot bind to the operator. So there will be transcription because RNA polymerase can move along the structural genes and there will be gene transcription. And these enzymes which are produced like anthranilate synthase, IgP synthase and tryptophan synthase, they will help in synthesis of tryptophan. So normally this operon is on. When there is tryptophan, that tryptophan will bind to the TRP repressor protein and makes it active, so that it will bind to the operator and block the action of RNA polymerase, and there will be no transcription. So in this way they function. In addition, that this TRP operon also is regulated through attenuation, and in attenuation this leader sequence or TRPL gene is responsible. It has 4 sequences, sequence 1, 2, 3 and 4, and in the sequence 1 there is 2 TRP codons. So when there is low tryptophan, the TRP for tryptophan, this tRNA with tryptophan will also be low, and accordingly it can affect. So let us see. Before that, in these 4 sequences, 3 can pair with 2 as well as 4. With 2 it is weak one, not strong, and acts as anti-termination, whereas with 4 it forms strong binding. Many GC bonds are there, because of which the complementary strong binding occurs, and there is formation of transcription termination loop, which will hide the RNA polymerase activity, and we call it as attenuation. So when there is low tryptophan, so tRNA with tryptophan is also low, and the ribosome waits for tRNA carrying tryptophan at sequence 1, where the TRP codons are there. So as we know, in prokaryotes there is no nucleus, so transcription and translation, everything happens inside the cytoplasm. Transcription is usually followed by translation. So just after completion of the transcription of the sequence 1, then when the RNA polymerase moves towards sequence 2, then ribosome can bind to the sequence 1, and translation can start. So for translation, tRNA is required, and when it moves along the sequence 1 with TRP codon, tRNA with tryptophan is required. So that depends on the availability of tryptophan. So when there is low tryptophan, tRNA with tryptophan is low, ribosome waits for the tRNA carrying tryptophan at sequence 1, and by the time RNA polymerase moves to sequence 4, ribosome is still at sequence 1, so there is pairing of 2 and 3. That means there will be no pairing of 3 and 4. So there is no termination, and transcription continues. But when there is high tryptophan, there is availability of tryptophan, tRNA is also high, so there is no waiting of ribosome at sequence 1. By the time RNA polymerase reaches sequence 4, ribosome is at sequence 2. So there will be no 2 and 3 base pairing. That means automatically it will lead to 3 and 4 complementary base pairing, and this 3 and 4 base pairing forms transcription termination loop, and the transcription is stopped because there will be melting of RNA DNA hybrid. There will be rapid dissociation of the ternary elongation complex into RNA, DNA, and RNA polymerase. So the transcription bubble collapses, and there will be no transcription, no enzymes, so no tryptophan synthesis. So now discuss the difference. Lac operon is lactose operon, TRP operon is tryptophan operon. Lac operon, catabolism of lactose, tryptophan operon, anabolism of tryptophan. Lac operon, the substrate is lactose, the TRP operon, the product is tryptophan. Lac operon is an inducible operon, TRP operon is a repressible operon. Lac operon is normally off, and lactose turns on the operon, and TRP operon is normally on, tryptophan turns off the operon. That means the operon gets activated in presence of lactose in case of lac operon. The operon gets deactivated in presence of tryptophan in case of TRP operon. The repressor gene is LAC-I, and repressor gene is TRP-R in case of TRP operon, and LAC-I is closer to the promoter and operator, the operon, and repressive in case of TRP operon, the repressor gene is away from the operon. And there are 3 structural genes, LAC-Z, LAC-A, and LAC-Y, whereas in case of TRP operon, there are 5 structural genes, TRP-E, TRP-D, TRP-C, TRP-B, and TRP-A. So this point, the 7th point, you can see that here the TRP operon is here. It is the TRP-R, the regulatory gene is away from the operon. Whereas in case of LAC operon, you can see the regulatory gene LAC-I is closer, and just between the LAC-I and the promoter of the operon, there is a CAP site, catabolite activator protein binding site. So the next difference is The proteins, so three enzymes are there: beta galactosidase, beta galactoside formase, beta galactoside transacetylase, and here also the enzymes synthesized are anthranate synthase, IgP synthase, indole 3 glycerol phosphate synthase, tryptophan synthase. And lac operon helps in degradation of lactose to glucose, and TRP operon helps in synthesis of tryptophan from chorismate. Both positive and negative regulation go side by side. Positive regulation through the repressor protein, negative regulators through the co-activator, that is cyclic AMP. And in TRP operon only negative regulation occurs, and uses, in addition to the repressor protein, it uses the attenuation mechanism, but there is no attenuation in case of lac operon, but there is a CAP site to which catabolite activator protein can bind in presence of cyclic AMP, that is the positive regulation. And in TRPL there is no CAP site, there is leader sequence which also which facilitates which facilitates the actions of the repressor protein. Suppose the repressor protein represses 70 fold, then this leader sequence again represses 10 times, so 700 fold it represses. So in this way we can say the difference between lac operon and TRP operon are there. Thank you.